Down Sports, man. We got a good episode for you this go round. As you can see from the thumbnail, Dominique Wilkins had something to say about this GOAT thing. Well, not even really the GOAT thing. He was just talking about Kobe Bryant in general and comparing him to Michael Jordan. He was on the Q Richardson and Darius Miles Knucklehead podcast, which is a good podcast. So if you want to see the full interview, go ahead and check that out. It just aired a couple of days ago, but it was real interesting. He said a couple of things that was real interesting. I might get into another video later on about what he said about the Clippers and Donald Sterling, which was very interesting. But I just want to highlight something he said about Kobe. And it's something that a lot of players have said about him, like Jim Jackson, Steven Jackson, guys of that nature, T-Mac. It's a lot of people who's come out and vouched a lot for Kobe Bryant. And well, for some reason, the media don't seem to like him as much and talk about him like they might talk about some other players like LeBron James or somebody of that caliber. So I'm gonna play exactly what he said. Then I'll come back with my commentary. But before I go ahead and play that video or that audio, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, hit that thumbs up as well and share this video. So here's what Dominique Wilkins had to say on the Knucklehead podcast.
But Jordan was a giant back then, and even bigger now. He was a giant, man. But he was fun to play against, and we had friendly rivalries. But we were trying to go at each other's throat, And with Mike, if you lost a game against him, you can still hold your head up high, knowing you gave everything because they had a great team, and he was the engine that made them run. But you'll never see another guy like that. I think the closest thing to him was Kobe.
See what I say all the time. I swear, that's how I feel. People can say what they want to say. In my book, my opinion, it's Mike and then it's Kobe. And then they say all of the other stuff, but I feel like Kobe gets slighted when they get to talking about all
people
this.
Who played against Kobe.
Thank you.
They know.
Thank you. That's what I say. I feel like I sit here. To me, I don't get into debates no more because it's useless. Everybody got an opinion and a voice and this, that, and third. But anytime somebody try and go crazy with me, I throw my trump card on the table. I say, well, look, I didn't guarded both of them and I didn't score on both of them. And whoever else you bring into the conversation, I did that with them too. So I got a bigger opinion than you.
Yeah. Well, see, if you haven't played against either one of them guys, you don't realize how good they really were. And it's easy for people, especially when you have different social media feeds, when they get with these comparisons, who's the GOAT, who the greatest, who's not. I don't buy into all that. But when you play against guys like that and firsthand what they bring to the table, both of them was lethal.
Yeah.
And they didn't care anything about you when they got on that floor.
Yeah.
They were trying to cut your throat.
Yeah.
And we were the same way.
A lot of people don't have that type of mindset.
And that's why I had.
Okay, so it was almost 2 minutes of them talking. That was Dominique Wilkins, that was Q Richardson. D Miles didn't say much in that clip, but they're adamant, especially Q Richardson. They're adamant, like, you cannot leave Kobe Bryant out of this conversation. And Q Richardson even went as far as saying for him, it's Michael and then Kobe. And it's similar for me. It's Michael, but I got Kareem second and then Kobe. Right. This I've been it all over how I go about how I talk about this GOAT list and all this stuff. It's basically mostly for me is based on what you do on the court as a player. How much did you maximize your potential, how much of the game you mastered. Right. So it's going to be very heavy on observation and observing them actually demonstrate what they can do. Right. Not just based solely on stats, like for most people, right? Because stats are circumstantial. Like, in Michael Jordan's case, of course, if I go and play 2 or 3 years at Carolina, that's 2 or 3 years taken off that I could accumulate stats in the NBA. Or if I retire for 2 years in the middle of my prime and go play baseball, that's going to take some years off my stats. If I retire after 13 years, when I'm still 35, after I just won a championship in the MVP and played 82 games, knowing I got a lot left in the tank, if I retire then, then it's going to take a couple of years off my potential statistical achievements, I guess, right? So it's all circumstances. But on the other hand, if I'm LeBron James and I come in out of high school at 18 and I play right away for a team that's not that good, and I get to do anything I want to on the court, and I'm just out there, just the world is a playground for me, and I play for 20 to 21 years, then of course your stats are going to weigh heavier than someone like Michael Jordan, who had all those breaks in his career and retiring early and things of that nature, right? And the same thing for Kobe Bryant. He came in and immediately got thrown in a situation where Shaq was there, and he was playing behind all-star caliber guards like Van Exel and Eddie Jones, and also having a coach like Dale Harris that didn't want to play rookies, and he definitely didn't want to play anybody fresh out of high school. So it took them to fire Dale Harris for Kobe Bryant to actually be able to get thrown in the fire and show us what he can do. I mean, we kind of knew what he can do. But I say all that to say this. I like what Dominique Wilkins said. He vouched for Kobe. He said, look, man, you can't compare anybody else to Michael Jordan other than Kobe Bryant. So for the people who, even if you have LeBron as the greatest player you ever seen, if he's the GOAT to you, and you got Michael Jordan second, if the closest thing to Michael Jordan is Kobe Bryant, and I'm talking about close, and I'm not talking about the resume, I'm not talking about what's on the paper resume or what stats you can pull. I'm talking about when you study and observe their game, and you say Michael Jordan mastered X, Y, and Z, you can say the same exact thing for Kobe. He mastered the same areas of the game, and he mastered the same game that Michael Jordan did. They both mastered it, right? They mastered more of the game to me than any other player on both ends of the floor, right? And that's why I give them a nod. So if Michael Jordan is 1 or 2 for you, it doesn't even make sense for Kobe Bryant to be anywhere lower than 3 or 4. You have to justify how the GOAT, or the person that's number 2 on your book, his carbon copy in Kobe Bryant is way out of the, like, some people got Kobe Bryant outside of the top 10. You can't justify that. And what Dominique Wilkins was explaining is players who played against Kobe or even played with him, they might even know better. They know. And that's exactly what he said. He was like, I don't get into what the media are talking about with this GOAT stuff. Players who played with and against Kobe, they know. Same thing with Michael Jordan. They know. Those are the 2 best players that have played in this league, hands down. And we have to start looking at this thing in a correct way, because I think the type of fans we have around the NBA now are not basketball junkies first, and then fans of the NBA. They're fans of the NBA first, not so much basketball. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can show me basketball on any capacity, I'm probably going to watch it and study it, whether it's women's, college, high school, overseas, whatever. It don't have to be the NBA. The NBA brings something else to it. It brings an entertainment factor. It brings a drama factor, right? And it's a lot. You don't have to be a basketball fan or a basketball junkie to like the NBA, and that's good for the NBA because that's more money. Why just have all basketball junkies watching my product when I can have people who don't know anything about basketball, who never played basketball, but I can sell them some type of form of entertainment or some type of form of drama that can attract them to the game, right? And that was done deliberately by David Stern. So we have so many people involved in the sport. You can just even look at the people that's in sports media. If you grab a guy like Nick Wright, he's never played basketball. He's not an athlete, right? But he's a contributing voice on a huge platform, and what he say reaches millions and millions of people, right? Shannon Sharp, it's not even a basketball player; he's a football player. Skip Bayless, I don't know what you want to call him, but these are not basketball junkies, right? These are not people who love the game so much, you know, that they would study it like it's the sweet science. These are not people who are amused by Kobe getting in the gym and working on his footwork for hours, or working on just one post move for hours. You know, they can't watch a Hakeem Olajuwon and see what separates him from any other center that you know that's an all-star center, right? You know, it's amazing, and for the most part, they never translate to the defensive end of the basketball. When they start talking about these guys, they're only talking about points, rebounds, and assists. That is it. They might go to efficiency. What's his efficiency rating? What's his field goal percentage? That's it. They're not talking about defensive end at all. And when you're talking about a complete player on both ends of the court, you want to think of it especially when you talk about wing players, you want to think about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. But I mean, I'm rambling a little bit, right? I'm rambling a little bit, man, because you know this is a topic. I'm glad somebody like Dominique Wilkins, a Hall of Famer, a top 75 player of all time, the human highlight film, somebody that's respected and you know, because we had former players vouch for him. We had Jim Jacksons and Steven Jacksons and guys like that, man. But they're few and far between because they don't get a lot of airplay. You know, most of the LeBron guys are getting jobs, and the Kobe guys are not getting jobs. You know, it's just not that profitable to talk about Kobe, but it is for LeBron. So they're very persuasive. So it was good to hear Dominique Wilkins say it that way, and hopefully a lot of people hear that, and you know, hopefully that conversation keep Kobe's name alive, and actually keep basketball alive, man. Because I think when you anoint guys that didn't do it the way Kobe and Mike did, it kind of lowers the bar for what we're looking for when we're giving guys a lot of praise. You know, like, you know, if you take, for instance, now in the league, Luka Doncic is getting a lot of praise. It's not even debatable that he's a liability on defense. It's not even debatable that he offers zero value for his team if he doesn't have the ball in his hand. Right? So you put a guy like that on your team, and you're already locked into a style of play on offense, which means if we want to get maximum value out of Luka, we got to give him the ball, which limits what type of players you can put around him, because you're more than likely not gonna be able to put another player on this team that wants the ball as well, right? You're more than likely not going to be able to put an offensive scheme in there that's revolving around equal opportunity or team basketball in a sense of like how Popovich have the Spurs playing, you know, where the ball don't stick and it's moving around and stuff like that. So the more the ball sticks to Luka's hand, the more you can get out of him. He's that type of player. He's almost like a Harden. So when you take the ball out of his hand, you get much less out of him. And I don't think they want that, you know, because he's a superstar they want to market, you know. So they got a decision to make. Do we want to value winning more than we value how much money Luka can bring to us as far as marketing him, you know? And if you don't value the winning that much, and you want to win a certain way, like some people want to just win at all costs, and then some people want to win, but they want to win playing their style of basketball, and that's where Luka falls at right now. So, and like I said, he does nothing on the defensive end. So we want to anoint that guy because his stats is 38 and 8, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. That's a stat line that's all it boils down to. If we see 38 and 8, this is a Hall of Fame player. We care nothing about the defensive end. He's not stopping the nosebleed, right? He can't play off the ball. None of that. He's a bad free throw shooter at that as well, right? None of that. But then a guy like Kobe, who was able to play in the triangle offense, who was able to play without the ball, able to play in the post, able to play with the ball, able to play on the break, able to play fast, able to hit his free throws, able to hit his threes, pass the ball, and then he was a lockdown defender on top of that, always in shape, play hurt, play injured, and got 5 rings. right? We say a guy like that is not in the top 10, but he's the closest thing to the GOAT. Don't make no sense at all, man. But that's all I want to get on here and say, man. I'll catch you on the next episode.